This is Michael L. Dublin Sr. Really wanting to talk to you more personally than anything. I know that all of us at some point will experience our loved ones dying, and so it can be a very sensitive subject. Certainly, it is sensitive to me, and I want to be sensitive to everybody that I'm ever involved with. I've had the responsibility, the privilege, the duty of going with many families when their loved one has died, even going to the funeral home and going through that whole process. And then I've had the deaths that I've had in my own family. And some of you will know that I have recently lost one of my daughters. And that is something that I have not even yet come to grips with. I've not allowed myself over the past 2 weeks to even address what is the unthinkable. And I keep thinking, just say it ain't so. But yet intellectually, I know that it is. And um, but what happened during the process? And I'm going to need your patience, your understanding. And I know that it's very easy, especially in today's society where everybody wears their feelings on their sleeves, and you can either not say the right thing, say it the wrong way, say nothing, and you will hurt a large percentage of people's feelings. And I'm not trying to do that. I can be direct and bold and pretty much indifferent to feelings, but that's not what's happening at this moment. I'm simply going to ask you to join me in rethinking when somebody has lost a loved one and they're going through this most vulnerable period of time in their lives, some of the things that we actually say to them, all well meaning, but they're not always received that way. And most people are certainly not going to tell you that, but they're often trying to get through the initial shock, the planning of the funeral, so that they can get to themselves without having to go through so many thoughts that comes their way, well-meaning or not. My wife is a licensed mortician and has her own business doing custom funeral programs. And again, because I've been in a pastoral role, I've over 30 something years, I've seen this, and I've seen people breathe their last breath and had to funeralize babies on up to elderly people, and then certainly have to do that with my own. But I made a few notes, so if you see me glancing over at the computer, I want to be sure I cover several things. Here is what I'm going to ask you to do. Please, just think for a second and actually consider when you say something to a person, although you mean well, give it some thought. For example, we would say everything happens for a reason. Well, to a person like me, I want to know what that reason is. Because if you have said that, certainly you have some idea of the reasons. And others will say, well, God doesn't make any mistakes. Well, why is that even a part of the dialogue? What is the implication of your statement? For me, it sounds like you're saying God killed the person and left them with their 14-year-old daughter and husband. Just like when my previous wife and my daughter's mother died, and I had a couple of daughters there at home, and people were sharing with me, God didn't make any mistakes. So what I got was that she had cancer and God gave it to her and killed her. That may not at all be what the person is saying, but that's how I heard it. What I believe is that God has put death as a part of the process of life. So from the moment we are conception, from the moment of our conception, we begin to live and to die. And for whatever mechanism or way, mode in which we leave this world through responding to your diabetes as Courtney did, after being a diabetic all of her life, and the ravages that it had taken on her body and all the ups and downs, or whatever mechanism. But when you say God doesn't make a mistake, I'm not following you. I believe that we're all going to die. that every single human being is going to die at some point. And I had just been on a email list of praying for a couple who had prematured twin boys, and one of the boys so far is still alive and one passed. And I was born that way. I lived and my brother died, but I don't think God killed them. So when one says God doesn't make any mistake, you probably have a different viewpoint of God or understanding of death. So you may not automatically just want to say some things. There are other things that are said like, be strong, especially in front of your children or the little children. But how are they going to learn what it means to grieve if we're teaching them pretty much to hide their feelings, to mask themselves at a time when they may not be ready for that? It may just be grievous to them, and they need to express that. Other times people have asked me, not many, well, what happened? What did she die of? One said, was it COVID? And my thoughts are, what difference does it make? At this point in my life, my child has died. She's not a child, but she was an adult daughter of mine. If she fell out of an airplane, if she was in a helicopter, if she drowned or whatever, what difference does it really make? Now, this is one where I know that you're saying I'm overly sensitive, and I may be, but I'm not the only one, because I've heard it so many times through all my tenure as a pastor, in sharing through the pastoral leadership. There's times people don't want to say to you why, or how rather, their loved one died, and you're not privileged to that. And then someone said COVID. Now, this is one of the things I'm going to reveal something to you. People actually have been dying for thousands of years before COVID. There are other ways and reasons to die. So whether you know it or not, and even if that's your natural reaction, consider not letting it be your natural reaction. Consider just thinking sometimes before you say those things, and just allow the other person to actually grieve. God wanted them more than you. Another angel is in heaven with God. Is that supposed to make me feel better? In my mind, I would love for him to have taken me home first and then bring that angel on later on. So I don't know what time I have left, but whatever time I have left, I will not spend it with my daughter, because she's not here. And so I can't compete with God. So there is nothing that's making me feel good about that kind of statement. God won't put no more on you can bear than you can handle. Oh my. You cannot seriously be thinking about that. God didn't put that on me. And yes, he is greater in me than the issues I deal with in the world. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to cry. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be bewildered. It doesn't mean all of the things that a human being goes through. I'm human. So I don't need or want to hear that, because I trust the Almighty God to be greater in me than anything that I will ever face. So it's not even a doubt or trust in God. And I don't really need that. What I need is just for you to be able to say, I'm here for you, and that's about all you can say to me. You can say to other people, well, I can't say I know how you feel, although I've gone through it, but I don't know how you feel. But I do understand death, and I'm a telephone call away. I'm a text message away, and I'm sorry that sorry that you're going through this. And much more than that, it's just not too much you can say. Nadine is my niece in Florida, and she knows that I just love her bread pudding. And in fact, in North Carolina, I don't get bread pudding here. It's a similar bread pudding, but not like in Florida where I grew up. And we were just we always talk. I mean, she's been my niece through marriage for 20 something, close to 30 years. And this morning, as I was getting ready to leave, one of my grandkids said, "You got a package." And she had put 2 bread puddings in the overnight. She didn't have to ask me that. She just sent them to me. And I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. None will go to waste. I might have to freeze one because most of the people in the family don't eat it, but I'm going to eat every bit of it. And I'm not going to let Nadine's efforts and her love and that bread pudding go to waste. It just isn't going to happen. And I'm just going to enjoy every minute of it. Sometimes when you know what a person likes, just do it. You don't have to go through something all that special. And other times you might want to bring a meal. Well, if several people bring a meal, it's not likely that everybody can eat that meal. What about a gift card? For those who choose to write a check or do the Cash App, one of my brothers in another state asked me what my Cash App number. I don't have Cash App, so I couldn't answer him, and but people have sent me checks and they have sent money. But the last thing I do want to say about that is I really appreciate, and everybody appreciates what you do. That is not what I'm saying. If you get the impression that I'm saying anything different, that I'm ungrateful, I don't mean that at all. I'm simply saying be sensitive, and in your sensitivity, grow and mature in that, and learn how individual people suffer or grieve. Now, the last thing I want to say is my daughter does not exist or did not exist in a vacuum. She has a husband and a 14-year-old daughter, and she left sisters and brothers, and she left a mother, even though her biological mother, Cece, had been a mother for 30-something years, longer than that, because when her biological mother died, when Linda died, Courtney was 8 years old, I think, around 8. But Cece, Sister Dublin, has been the mother. She was there that raised her. So we, each one of us, grieve in our own way, but our loss is for all of us. And we could easily say, well, Brother Dublin lost or Michael lost. But no, the family has lost. We're all messed up over this loss. We still can't believe it. So I'm just sharing with you to step back and broaden your thinking and your maturity when you're helping people go through a time unlike any other time in their lives. And I hope and pray that the good Lord will give you the wisdom as to what I'm really trying to say to you, because I probably can't really express what's on me. I'm kind of the guy that's so straightforward that most people can't take it. So when I try to dress it up, it becomes difficult for me to express. So I'm appealing to you and appealing to your inner being, just simply to be sensitive to others, continue to love them, don't run away from them, and don't get to the point where you say, well, I don't know what to do now. I just told you. Get to know them. Tell them that they matter. Tell them that I'm here for you. And then write them a check or send them a card without money, or do whatever you're going to do, and be there for them. And then let them reach out to you when the time comes, if they ever need to reach out. Now, there'll be some people who will reach out to you, and there's folk like me that just does not do that, and really like to get past the moment publicly, and I just don't enjoy days and weeks of people saying, well, I could have been to the memorial, I wish I had this happen, or the Lord, I just need to go on, and I'm okay. So nobody has to prove anything to me. I'm going to think and believe what I'm thinking, believe, and I'm going to appreciate the love and the compassion and the outreach that I've gotten from everyone. And I'm going to give you the very best that I have. God bless you. I hope that you make the best of every day. Make sure that Jesus' teaching on forgiving is at the core of who you are in Christ Jesus. Amen and amen.